All right, let's talk about a tool that can completely change your workday: email automation. Over the next few minutes, we're going to show you how to ditch those repetitive tasks and actually start focusing on growing your business, all with a few smart emails.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why manual email is such a time waster. Then we'll get clear on what email automation actually is, look at some key workflows you can use, see a real-world example in action, and finish up with some tips to make sure you do it right. Let's jump in.
Okay, first things first. We need to understand the problem we're trying to solve. Let's talk about the pain of doing everything by hand, the problem with manual email.
I mean, if you're running a business or doing any kind of marketing, this probably sounds way too familiar, right? That endless cycle of sending the same welcome email, the same promo, the same follow-up, over and over and over again. It's a huge time sink, and honestly, it's a grind.
And here's the real kicker. Every single minute you spend on those repetitive tasks is a minute you're not spending on the big stuff. You know, strategy, building relationships, actual growth. It's like having a slow leak in your productivity, and it goes right to the bottom line.
So if that's the problem, what's the fix? Let's get a really clear definition of what we mean when we say email automation.
You know, at its heart, it's pretty simple. Think of it like setting up a bunch of if-then rules for your email. You write the email once, and then the software sends it for you whenever someone takes a specific action. Like, if they sign up, then send the welcome email. It's all about getting the perfect message to the perfect person at the perfect time without you having to click send every single time.
Okay, so that's the what. Now let's get into the how. We're going to look at some of the most essential and powerful automated workflows that you could literally set up today.
Just think of this as your menu of possibilities. A welcome series, that's your automated first impression, your digital handshake. An abandoned cart email, that's your little helper that recovers sales you thought were lost. And a re-engagement series, that can bring old customers back from the dead. Each one of these is a powerhouse strategy that just works for you, 24/7.
Now, theory is one thing, but let's see how this stuff actually works in the wild. We're going to break down a real onboarding sequence from a company to see exactly how they use automation to guide new users.
And here's why this is so important. Just look at these numbers. This isn't just about saving a bit of time. A 28% drop in people giving up on a trial, a 31% jump in free users becoming paying customers. I mean, come on. Those are absolutely game-changing results, and they're all driven by a smart, automated email sequence.
So this is their playbook. It's a 6-part conversation that unfolds over 12 days. And notice the timing here. It's not a fire hose of information. It's carefully paced to guide someone along without overwhelming them. Let's look at what each step actually does.
Okay, so day one, the moment someone signs up, boom, the first email arrives. But it's not just a boring hello, it's a demo. It actually shows them the product's coolest feature right away, which is so much more powerful than just telling them about it.
Then, on day 2, the whole dynamic flips. Instead of talking at the user, they start listening. They send out an interactive form to ask, hey, what are you trying to solve? This is brilliant because it helps them personalize everything that comes next.
A few days later, they shift gears. They're not pushing a feature, they're offering real, expert help on a tricky topic. By doing this, they're not just a vendor anymore. They're becoming a trusted guide. Now that they've built that trust, it's time to show off a little more. They start introducing the more advanced, powerful features. But notice, they waited until the user was warmed up and probably ready for it. Smart.
Okay, we're getting near the end of the trial. The user might be getting skeptical. So what do? They hit them with social proof. Real testimonials from happy customers. This just crushes doubt and builds so much confidence.
And finally, the automation gracefully bows out. The last email feels really personal. It thanks the user, and then here's the magic. It opens the door for a real human connection by offering a meeting. The robot hands you off to a person. It's the perfect ending.
So, you've seen what an awesome automation looks like. You're probably thinking, okay, I want to do that. So let's run through 5 essential tips to make sure you get it right.
All right, these 5 keys are pretty much non-negotiable. 1. Test everything. I'm serious. Send it to yourself first. Make sure it feels right. 2. Add a personal touch. Even just using a first name makes a huge difference. 3. Use triggers. Base your emails on what people do, not just on a calendar. That's what makes it relevant. 4. Watch your numbers, your open rates, your click rates. That's the data telling you what's working. And finally, 5. Don't overdo it. Know when the automation should stop and a real person needs to step in.
You know, if you take away only one thing from all this, let it be this. The technology is just a tool. It's a vehicle. Real success, the kind we've been talking about, only happens when your message is actually relevant and valuable to the human being on the other end.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Thinking about your own work, your own business, what's the very first email you could automate starting today? Your journey to working smarter, not harder, really does begin with that one single action.